Well, we got ourselves a pretty full train, and that was super boring. So can everybody hear me all right? I'm going to need to hear everybody.
Yeah.
Everyone hear me all right? All right, that's a little better. Well, my name is Trace. I'm going to be your engineer for the next 10 to 15 minutes. We're going to be riding around on our red engine Emmett. We're going to be taking a trip on the outside of the zoo's perimeters. I ask that you please keep your hands, arms, and tails inside the train at all times. And with that being said, all aboard! Train leaving the station.
Hold on, let me get going. Hey, Val. See you.
Alrighty then, folks, let's get this show on the track, shall we? Alrighty, the first friend we're going to be seeing today is actually going to be right across the street. I'm not talking about that handsome gentleman looking at us. It's going to be our Brazilian Toco toucan. Our Brazilian Toco toucans, as you can tell from the name, are from Brazil, and they're the largest species of toucan in the whole entire world, although they only weigh about 2.5 pounds. They use that big, beautiful beak to eat nuts, berries, insects, and Fruit Loops as well. This concrete path over here to the right is going to lead you over to our family of Asian small-clawed otters. They are the smallest species of otter in the world. If you go check them out, you'll notice that there's 6 of them, and 4 of them follow one everywhere they go, and that's because that's all the babies following the mama everywhere she goes. You'll also notice that they have hands that are similar to that of a human hand.
I didn't know that.
To the right of us, that brown building is the Ridley Tree Restaurant. And right underneath the Ridley Tree Restaurant is Swan Lake, home to our 2 black swans, Nina and Shadow. Nina and Shadow are one of 2 birds in the whole entire world with all black feathers. Speaking of pairs, we got ourselves a pair of scarlet macaws over there. That's Jimmy and Rhoda. Jimmy and Rhoda actually just celebrated their 50th hatch day last week. Now back to Nina and Shadow. Nina and Shadow are one of 2 birds in the whole entire world with all black feathers, and they are native to Australia and New Zealand. Now folks, we're going to be entering what I like to call the outback, because we're literally just out back. We have our very awesome and exciting shipping and receiving zone, our eventful events office, and we even got ourselves some Marburg dumpsters up here. Besides those awesome dumpsters, that white building right there with the blue canopy is going to be home to our Discovery Pavilion and our education system here at the zoo. These 3 doors to the left are home to our animal kitchen, where we create 260 diets every single day and 100,000 diets every year with 0 complaints. That makes that another Santa Barbara 5-star restaurant right there. And the most important building we have here at the zoo is going to be right here. This is the Abercrombie Animal Health Clinic, where our veterinarians and vet techs work to take care of our beloved animal friends. I don't know if you guys can tell, but those blue doors, they just don't look big enough for a giraffe to squeeze their head through, so luckily they make house calls. These green curtains are our enrichment workshop, home to our birds that are not on display. If you look on the inside of their enclosures, you'll notice that there's bags in there and cardboard boxes as well. It's what the keepers put in there to encourage these animals to use their foraging skills like they would out in the wild. And if you guys wanted to catch the most dangerous animal we have here at the Santa Barbara Zoo, you take a look to the left, that's the 101 freeway. Now back at the train station, I let you all know we're on our red engine Emmett. But to the left of us is our blue engine Kate, who is actually being taken out right now by our other engineer, Bob. Wherever Bob is, he's hiding. Now we're going to be heading into Asia, where I'm going to slow down here. If you look to the left of that bridge, on the right of the enclosure, you'll see our handsome gentleman over there, one of our white-handed Gibbons. That's Bono. Usually when you see Bono, you see Jasmine as well. I'm not seeing Jasmine. Maybe you guys can see her and I don't. I'm gonna go real slow here and talk about them so we can all get a good little glimpse of them. Like I said, these are white-handed gibbons. They're the smallest species of ape in the whole entire world. Oh, there goes Bono.
Oh, there it goes.
As I was saying, these are white-handed gibbons, the smallest species of ape. And although they're the smallest species of ape and they got those skinny arms, they're very, very strong. And they're actually 2 times stronger than an adult human.
Wow.
Now, like I said, these guys are apes and not monkeys. We know that they're apes and not monkeys because monkeys have tails and apes do not. You'll also notice that there's nothing really keeping them from coming and hanging out with us, except for the fact that there's this body of water right here. This body of water acts as a natural barrier because that ape's arms are so long. If he got in this water and he started swimming, he would just be swimming in circles right here. If they're monkeys that get in that water, come hang out with us. Go ahead and take a look to the left. This gorgeous, gorgeous view. That is the Andre Clark Bird Refuge, owned by the city of Santa Barbara. It is 32 acres in size, actually bigger than the Santa Barbara Zoo itself. It is home to about 300 different species of birds that visit here annually, some migrating all the way from Canada. But not only is it home to birds, it's also home to snakes, raccoons, possums, lizards, and even turtles trying to play chicken with our train. I like to slow it down just a little bit here so we can all take a glimpse of this gorgeous, gorgeous view. You got the Santa Ynez Mountains as the backdrop. And over there on that hillside, that white building is the Montecito Country Club. Once I get to this portion of the train ride, I like to blow my whistle, let them know we're in the area. Give them a little chugga chugga. Over here to the right of us, I'm not talking about that handsome gentleman right there. We're gonna spot some of our California condors. Let's see how many of our 4 California condors can we spot. I'm not actually seeing any of them at the moment. Oh, now I do. To the right of the enclosure on top of that rock, we're gonna have 2 of our California condors. Now, just 22 years ago, California condors were almost completely extinct with only 20 in the whole entire world. But through conservation efforts and breeding programs, there are now upwards of 500 California condors. And although that's a small number, due to the fact that they only lay an egg once every other year. I don't know how many basketball fans we have in here, but at full growth, those California condors have a wingspan of 9.5 feet. That is a wingspan bigger than Shaquille O'Neal and Yao Ming. Those are pretty big guys. Those California condors probably dunk on you guys. Right up there is the backside of our Western Lowland Gorilla exhibit. On the inside is our 2 blood-born brothers, Bangorian and Zinga. Bangorian and Zinga are both 5'6" in height and 400 pounds of pure muscle. Those are 2 guys you don't want to get into an arm wrestling competition with. Being 400 pounds makes them one of our heaviest animals here at the Santa Barbara Zoo. Right behind our male lion, Ralph, who is 450 pounds. This guy is Jake the Mosaic Snake. He's been here for 10 years and hasn't moved a single inch. Alright, we're going to be heading into the African savannah where we are all going to get a great look at one of the newest members here at the Santa Barbara Zoo. This pretty little lady is our
look at the little baby.
5-month-old Malia. Malia's name is actually a mix of her dad, Michael, and her mom, Adia. Now, I'm going to scoot up just a little more so we can all get a great glimpse of these guys.
Wow. Look at those living.
Looks like all 5 of our Maasai giraffes are out at the moment. All the way to the right, that guy over there, that's Theo. We know that's Theo because he looks like he's got a brand new paint job compared to the rest of them. Right here, as I was talking about earlier, this is Malia. Right over there is Audrey. To the left of Audrey is Rami. And all the way over here to the left is Adia. Now, these are the tallest animals on the planet, and you would think, being the tallest animal on the planet, you must not be very tall, but you'd be wrong. These guys get up to speeds of 35 miles per hour. That is faster than a racehorse. Now, you'll notice they have those long purple tongues. Those tongues are purple because when you're eating for 20 hours in the hot African savannah, you're just gonna get a sunburned tongue. So over time, they've developed that purple tongue to act as a natural sunblock. And when you're eating for 20 hours in the hot African savannah, you're only sleeping for about 20 minutes. And when you're sleeping in an area filled with predators, you're sleeping with one eye open, probably because of these guys right here. Their next door neighbor, the African lion. Now let's see, where is our African lions at? Now the African lion does the complete opposite. I'm actually seeing Felicia way in the back, our female lion. She's probably hanging out back there with Ralph. Oh yeah, they're both right next to each other. Ralph and Felicia are in the back right of their enclosure, taking a nap in the shade. Now Ralph is 450 pounds and his roar can be heard from 5 miles away. He eats up to 75 pounds of meat in one sitting. That's quite a lot of quarter pounders. Just 2 years ago, Ralph and Felicia had a cub named Pauline. And when Pauline turned a year old, she was sent to the Boise, Idaho Zoo, where she's going to take a couple courses at Boise State and start a pride of her own over at that zoo. To the right of us, you guys will notice each one of those white tents. Each one of those white tents represents a preschool we have here at the Santa Barbara Zoo. We're very proud to say we're the only zoo in the state of California with a preschool on it. In 1947, this property was donated to the Santa Barbara Foundation. In 1963, the zoo opened their doors as the Lily and Child Estate. And at the time, they only had about 7 animals. It was more like a petting farm. Fast forward 61 years later to 2024, there are now upwards of 500 animals, representing over 200 different species. Tropical America, I ask that you please keep your eyes peeled for the best hiders we have here at the Santa Barbara Zoo. Never mind, these are not the best hiders we have here at the Santa Barbara Zoo. We have our capybara, Poppy, hanging out right here, kind of near the fence line. Now this is the largest rodent on the planet, and she can hold her breath in that water back there for 5 minutes. I wouldn't want to be in that water. That's where she uses her restroom. Alright now folks, we got ourselves a full train and we're going under a tunnel. Sit down right and roll, you guys scream as loud as you can. Please join me. Alrighty everybody, now as we head back to the train station, please remain seated until we come to a complete standstill stop. Please gather all your belongings in the trash and have a super rest of your day.